Hello and welcome students to Tym4Bss, and we are looking at the first chapter to business studies, which is business environment. So let us look at the structure to business environment and see what we can take note of. So here's the structure to business environment. So the first thing, guys, that you have to know is that we need to define what is a business organization. So a business organization is an organization which uses resources to produce goods and services to satisfy human needs and wants. So remember, when you talk about resources, we are referring to factors of production. Those are the resources that we are talking about. Those are the resources we are referring to. So we are looking at business coexisting in the economy to provide goods and services to satisfy human needs and wants, which means business are existing in the economy because they need to satisfy the needs and wants of people. So as you know, there is no forcible end to the needs and wants of people, but the business try by all means to provide a sufficient number of the goods and services that are demanded by the people to make sure that we satisfy their needs and wants. So let's look at the level of business activity, which is very important for you to understand. So the level of business activity, we are looking at there are actually three levels of business activity that you have to know. So the first level of business activity is primary production. As you know, primary production, this is the first stage of production. This is whereby we are extracting raw materials from the ground. We're looking at examples like mining, quarrying. Also in agricultural production, we're looking at fishing, in forestry. These are some of the issues. These are some of the examples of primary production. So you should understand, whenever we refer to primary production, we are talking about the extraction of raw materials from the earth. That is the primary production. Then we go to secondary production. This is the second stage of production. This is where we extract our raw materials into semi-finished or finished goods. So in under secondary production, we are looking at manufacturing. This is where manufacturing happens. This is where we talk about the construction industry. This is all under secondary industry. So remember, the goal in secondary industry is the second stage of production, where we just look at extraction of raw materials into semi-finished or finished goods. This is secondary production. Remember, under secondary production, we need to be aware that there are certain goods that does not go through secondary production. Talk about a fruit being taken from the orchard doesn't necessarily have to go through secondary production. So it's related to the type of good that is being produced. So we're looking like steel industries are under secondary industry. Okay, then let's go to third production. We're looking at tertiary production. Tertiary production, we are just looking at this is the third and the last stage of production. It's called the third or the last stage of production. This is whereby we look at the service side of the economy. Because remember, we say we are producing those goods and services that are required by the human needs and wants for consumption. So this is the point whereby we look at the consumption side. If goods have to be produced, they have to reach consumption. So when you talk about tertiary production, we're looking at those industries which help firms with services with services to other firms and services to people of the general public. We're looking at banking, lawyers are all part of tertiary production. Banking is part of tertiary production. So this is very important for you to understand. Under tertiary sector, we're looking at insurance, communication. They are all under tertiary production. Then let us look at under tertiary production. Before I even go further, tertiary production helps industries with offering them direct personal services and commercial services. That is very important. Direct personal services and commercial services. So when you look at direct personal services, it's called direct because we are offering it one-on-one. This is a direct communication that is done one-on-one. So this is done through teaching, through lawyers. They offer direct personal services. Through hairdressing, they offer direct personal services. So it's very important for you to understand that. That is what we say, direct personal services. So this is the personal service that is offered to non-material ones. That is very important for you to recognize also that point. When you look at commercial services, we are just looking at something that looks at distribution of goods and services from the producer to the consumer. This is whereby we look at trade and aid, whereby we say trade is just the exchange of goods and services. But when you look at aid, we are looking at Aid is facilitated with the smooth movement of goods and services. That is what we call aid. So we look at trade and aid whenever you're referring to commercial services. So guys, those are the levels of business activity that you have to know. There are actually 3 levels of business activity: primary production, secondary production, and tertiary production. Then the last 2 are actually those services which are provided in the tertiary production, where we're talking about the point that we need to be able to reach a point that when we consumers are going to consume the product that we are producing. So that is the introduction of business environment, guys. So I'll see you in the next lecture when we look at the types of business sectors. So that is very important. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.